Today we are going to make a very traditional Mexican recipe. Angry dogs. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are making pozole, which is a very traditional dish in Mexico. Usually you'll see it in red broth, but this recipe I'm going to show you how to make a green pozole. So go in your fridge, get everything that's green, and let's make this pozole. I'm just kidding, I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need. So first of all, you need a blender because we're gonna be blending lots of ingredients today. You're gonna need a pot, the biggest one you got. This is the biggest one I got, which is actually a medium pot, but I'm gonna make it work. If you have a bigger one, use it. Usually when we make pozole, it's like a huge pot like this because it's for Christmas. So everyone comes over and everyone gets an awesome bowl of pozole. So the next thing you're gonna need is hominy. So pozole in English is hominy. So the one that I got is from Bush, and I really like their brand because the corn is actually really soft and really flavorful. So I really like their brand. You're gonna need like around half a cup of cilantro, 1 poblano pepper, 2 jalapeno peppers that I already deveined and took the seeds out as well. We're gonna do the exact same thing with the poblano. 1 cup of spinach, 4 of these. This is kale, so 4 little kale sticks. Some broccoli. So this is around a cup perhaps of broccoli, and it's 4 little heads like this. And then the next one is tomatillo. It looks like a green tomato. There are green tomatoes out there, but this one comes with a little jacket on there, if you may. This is not a green tomato, it's a tomatillo. So find it in your local grocery store, and remember, it has this little like I could call it a little jacket, but a little outer protection, like a leaf. It feels exactly like a leaf, but it actually covers the tomatillo, and they're very flavorful. And this is what I use to make salsa. So in the future, I'll make a salsa with tomatillo. So good. So 4 tomatillos, 1 bell pepper, and a green bell pepper. And I did the same thing. I took out the seeds and I took out the stem. I have 4 celery sticks. I cut off the edges, they're washed, they're clean, and that is it for the green part of the pozole. For the toppings of the pozole, I have 1 lime, which we're just gonna put on the side, so you can just kind of just squeeze the lime on top of your pozole. I have some purple cabbage, and it's just cut up finely, and we're gonna have some radishes on top of the pozole. So in order for us to start off this recipe, we're gonna have to make a really beautiful base. So we're going to need some olive oil. This is 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and we are going to use 2 tablespoons of sofrito. And if you don't know what that is, there's a video popping up right now, and you can follow the instructions so you can make your own at home too. And I'm making a cookbook based on this ingredient. This ingredient brings everything together. I'm gonna start it off using this, and it's just gonna start it off strong. 2 garlic cloves. So the first thing we're gonna do is, in our pot, we're gonna take the olive oil and the sofrito, and we're gonna let that cook for around a minute. Boop. Okay, so 2 ingredients I totally forgot to mention. Water. I put the water into the pot where the sofrito was already cooked, and I'm gonna bring that to a boil. So another ingredient that is better than chicken bouillon, so you can use this to make broth. So you put a tablespoon in 8 ounces of water, and I'll give you 8 ounces of broth, and it's completely vegetarian, completely vegan. It doesn't have any chicken fat in it, and it's really flavorful. So yes, the water's boiling back there, and the next thing that we're going to do is I'm gonna put my hominy corn to the side. We don't need that yet, and we don't need the garlic yet, so I'm gonna put that to the side. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of this to the broth, and I'm gonna move my toppings aside because that's for later too. So this is what we're gonna take care of right now. All right guys, so what I'm gonna do with all these ingredients is I'm gonna boil them in little batches. So I'm gonna boil all the leaves together, I'm gonna boil all of the peppers together, and I'm gonna boil the rest together. So I did it in sets of 3s. And then I'm just gonna take the ingredients out and place them in this container. All right guys, so I boiled all of these. I put them into the boiled water for around a minute and a half each. A little bit more with the tomatillos because they're very, very thick. So just give them a little extra time. Everything else is perfect if you do a minute. So my last batch is my leafy batch. So I'm gonna take them out, strain them a little bit, let the liquid fall out. And we need a little liquid because if you put a lot of solids into a blender, then it'll just get stuck. So I'm gonna take these out, and when I take everything out of my pot, now is the time to add my hominy corn, my pozole. So I'm gonna make sure I get all of these little leaves out, and you guys see the sofrito there on the top? It's beautiful. It added a lot of color. So I think it's clear. It's safe to say there's no more vegetables in there. Everything's out, and what I'm going to do now is take my pozole and I'm gonna put it in here really slowly because it's really hot and it might splash up at you. So it's really important that you take this out of the can and rinse it out, because if you pour it in from the can, then it's just gonna make a really murky pozole, and you want a really green pozole is what you want, not a pastel green. You want a really bright green. So I'm gonna add it in here, and I'm gonna try to avoid splashing. Come on, little guys. There we go. And I'm gonna take that back to the stove and leave it on low while I'm gonna be blending up all of these ingredients. And I'm gonna start blending my ingredients with my two raw garlic cloves. So this is going back to the stove on low heat, and everything else is getting blended. Okay, so this boiled for around 10 minutes and it is ready to serve. Now I did wanted to add that if you want to add a meat replacement, like a chicken strip meat replacement, they do sell it in your local grocery store. You could have added it before you put it to a boil. And I also am going to link the ingredients, for example, the bouillon and the name of the peppers, just so you can get the right ones when you go to the grocery store. Hey, if they're green, put them in. They count, they're delicious. It'll work. All right, so this boiled and it's ready to serve. You guys, you see how bright green it is? It's beautiful. If we hadn't washed the corn, the hominy corn, it would have been, like murkier. So I'm gonna go ahead and plate this in this beautiful bowl all the way from Guadalajara, Mexico. It's beautiful. It's made out of clay, and it's actually homemade over there. I'll wipe off my environment here. Got my beautiful little bowl, and I'm going to start plating. Oh, it's beautiful, so green. I mean, the broth is amazing, because just imagine how much vegetables are going into this broth. There's my bowl, and I'm gonna start off by adding my beautiful, beautiful purple cabbage, like that. And then after that, I'm gonna add my radish that I've sliced up into little pieces, like this. And then I'm going to add my beautiful little yellow flowers from the garden, just like that, freshly picked. Boop. It stuck to my finger. Beautiful. And I'm gonna finish this off with some chips on the side, just like that. Finish it off with a lime. Totally forgot about the lime. Actually, you can put this on the side of the bowl. So there you have it, your bowl of green pozole. May you enjoy it as much as I'm about to enjoy it. That is it for today. Stay tuned for next week's recipe, sopa de arroz. And what that is the Mexican rice that you eat at those Mexican parties or wherever it is that you taste that Mexican rice. I'll show you how to make that next week, so stay tuned.